Hi, everybody. So I wanted to address some of this stuff about narcissism and people that are in active addiction, and how the person who's being victimized, in this case I was victimized, like how can I see these things before they happen so that I can see some of the telltale signs. So one of the things I was noticing today, and perhaps it might apply to you as well, is that, when I look at myself, okay, and I look at, there's a Bible story about, like, this guy gives his sons a certain amount of money, and he says, do something with it, and he goes away, and the one son that had like 5 coins, he brings back 10, and the other son that had 3 coins brings back 4 or whatever, and the last son that has been given 1 coin, or whatever the portion is, like, he just gave back the original. He didn't make an investment on it. He didn't improve the situation. He actually just gave back the same amount, and the father was angry, and he's like, I'm going to give it to the son that made the most. Okay, so in that parable or whatever, I'm trying to make this analogy, and I'm saying, if you have a certain set of skills, okay, and you learn how to use these skills, and let's just say technology and computer, and you know how to, like, do social media marketing as an example, and then all of a sudden, somebody says, hey, could you help me, take a nice photograph for my headshot? I might not know exactly at that moment how to take a professional headshot photo, but because I have some of the social media marketing skills already, I might be able to do some research, do some test shots, and say, yeah, I can help you do that headshot for your, website. And so then my skills have improved. And then what I'm getting at is, if I have a whole toolbox of tools, okay, the reason why I have a toolbox of tools of different skills is because I invested in myself. I invested in time, money, energy, and practice to learn and acquire those skills, okay? So when somebody comes to me and they present themselves, here's the example of the narcissist and the person in active addiction who's a master manipulator, they're going to present themselves as having all of these skills because they're trying to hook and bait you that they are actually this talented and that they can do all these things, and that they're trying to make this great first impression on themselves of their skills, okay? And this is where I'm trying to show you about proof and evidence, okay? Like, a statement would be made like, hey, I can do your taxes, blah, 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 because that's one of my side jobs, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd be like, well, let me see some referrals from people that you've done their taxes before so that I know that you're legit. And then I'm getting phone calls that people are saying, oh yeah, I work with Eric and he did my taxes and he really helped me out, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then I have this evidence appearing as real, but it's really not, saying that he's this great, tax preparer. And then he's showing me his IRS tax preparer number. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's doing things to demonstrate that he actually is this person and he has these skills, okay? So then when I am thinking, oh wow, we're getting engaged and, I'm going to give him my data so that he can prepare my tax return, while I'm doing that, and if this is a fact that I've already been engaged to this person, okay, and I trust this person because he's my fiance. But the reality is, I'm not giving that information at that moment thinking, oh, he's going to take that information and he's going to destroy my credit. He's going to take that information and he's going to start stealing from me. Like, in that moment, I'm not thinking that that's what's going on. I'm thinking that my fiance is looking out for my best interest and his best interest, and that we're a team, okay? And the reality is, that's how he acquired some of my information. The next thing is, they're going to use their, quote, skills And he was like, oh, I have tech skills and I can do all your IT stuff and I can hook up your VPN system and I can make everything secure and this and that. And meanwhile, like, I already had a secure system. But he's telling me that these are his skills, and then he's showing me a certificate that he's an IT person and that, he does this on the side, and he's giving me fake referrals of, people complimenting how great of a job he did. Okay? So I'm going, oh wow, these are real legitimate testimonials, but they weren't. Okay? So then I'm giving authority of my network and my computers and my system to my fiance, who happens to be an IT guy, and then he is literally leaking my data and my information and getting paid for my data and my information. But I don't know that this is going on because I'm so naive about the scenario, because I'm thinking my fiance actually cares about me and he actually wants a future with me. But in reality, he was just trying to steal from me. Okay, so these are some of the signs and some of the actual things that a narcissist or a person in active addiction, that all they want is their next drug, and they're just going, you have this money here, I'm going to find a way to it, I'm going to sell this out, and boom. Because, that's what they do. Now, I was looking at this person who's going, I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I'm going, wow, they're a Renaissance person. They're like me. They've invested in their time and energy into skills. And the reality is, I actually did. Okay? But his skills are only an illusion to get you hooked, so that then I can be manipulated, and then he can pull out my cash and catfish me, even though he's my fiance. Okay? And even though he's appearing that he's doing these things out of a love language and that he really cares about me, and he's, handling life responsibilities and paying certain bills and this and that. He's doing all this under a facade. But in reality, his plan is to take me out. His plan is to take my money and get rid of me. Okay? And the thing is, when you find text messages and handwritten notes in their handwriting that says that, yeah, I'm going to take her out on this date, I'm going to drug her with this, and then I'm going to do that, and he has it written down. Okay? That, it changes your heart. It changes your gut about, what you thought you had. I mean, I would have taken a bullet for him. I would have. Because I really thought that he was my partner, my man, And now that I understand that it was all just a facade for him to get another drug and another whore, and to just keep up his bullshit story. And meanwhile, there were so many other people, in his whole drama that he was doing this to the whole time. It's very sad. And so what I'm seeing is that, if I have these skills and I'm like, I could do this, like I could do this marketing, or I could, make these phone calls, or, whatever. I'm trying to keep it simple to illustrate the point. And then he comes to me and he's like, baby, I'm not really good with, advertising and marketing stuff. Do you think you could make me a flyer so that I could hand out my guitar flyer? I'm like, sure. And I'm like, let me take some good pictures of you, and then let me do some work in Illustrator, and I'll, let me see what I can come up with. And it's like, so then I come up with this flyer, and then he's handing it out, and he's making it appear as though he's building a business, okay? And then he's going, oh yeah, I got this client, and I got this client, and he's showing me receipts that income is coming in, okay? But the reality is, it's all a joke. Like, that isn't really what's going on. It's an illusion to make me believe that there's this business that he has. But his business was really selling drugs and, drug dens, and, that's really what it was. And that's really sad, you know? Because I wasn't really prioritized of who I was as a person. He abused that totally. And meanwhile, I'm filling the role of a nurse and a taxi driver and, you know, a compassionate fiance and, building a church and a mission and all these things that, we were supposedly doing. And the reality is, it was just all words so that he could get his next drug and find a way to drug me or knock me out of the way or get me out of the house so that he could be doing what he was doing, using my resources to run his shit. And it's really disgusting. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody. Have a good day.